Hey, welcome to the very first attempt at episode 36 with Toker, Mahogany.
Hello.
Yellow.
Nick.
There's Nick.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so Nick, tell us about your last state competition. You entered
Okay.
ancillaries for the first time, or not the first time, I don't know. Was it the first time?
Well, no, see, I've done a lot of ancillaries before in different competitions, like in barbecue competitions and everything, and I always really never did very well. So I just kind of got burnt out on them and just put them to the wayside. And just
I don't think he was actually talking that fast. Do you? No.
No, Zoom does this thing sometimes where it'll stop.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think we're lost you again. We might have to try this another time. I'm sorry, Nick. Cool. My computer decided to lose its audio
Yeah,
too.
like he's gone.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
No, like nobody was talking.
I'll let him know.
If he's if it's the internet's brand new, it might just be router issues or settings or something, or
Maybe he's
Maybe he
on the
needs a,
2G and he should be on the 5G.
needs to hard plug in. I
Well-
don't know what he's using to use the Zoom with.
We'll keep this one rolling. We just have a little split, a small entrance from Nick. But what he was telling, he entered the ancillary thing for the staking competitions, which I believe
I
is
don't-
just
I don't know what that
Was
means.
estas.
Ancillary.
Yeah, was estas.
sorry, I talk like that shit. So when you enter the state competition, it's kind of like side betting, where sometimes it's like a random category like wings or hot dogs or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Like when I went, it was cheesecake. And we talked about how people just bought cheesecake and put bacon on top, and that was a waste of our fucking time.
Yeah, that was rude of them.
But what Nick actually did here, I'm going to share my screen for you because he did some orange chicken wings. And they're fucking awesome looking. He even did the garnish and all.
Ooh,
Oh, shit.
pretty.
Those do look good.
No. I'll take a
won.
bite or six.
Like a Asian-y orange, sauce. They look like they've been grilled. They've got a nice single color white sesame seed garnished on top. And the oranges look like little flowers with a cherry for the stamen.
Don't forget the kale underneath.
Yeah. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, that is pretty kale.
I don't give a shit about kale.
It's pretty though.
Ancillaries are dope because in the state competitions, you cannot garnish. In the ancillaries, you can garnish. So he took the time, and I guess he did all those knife cuts and shit because those look dope. He even got a golden ticket to the, was it the World Championship in Texas?
Okay.
Oh yeah. You got the golden ticket.
Here's actually the
Yeah.
steak he cooked for that too.
Ooh, that's pretty too.
He only won sixth
I-
place though on this one. But I
It's
think
got a pretty grill mark on it.
I appreciate the near symmetry of it. It's so close to being, yeah.
Toker, you're a man of chicken wings.
I am.
How do you make your chicken wings? I want to know your process. Like if
Well,
you just had unlimited time to do you're making chicken wings like right, and you got resources and shit. How you doing it?
There's an iPhone trying to come into the meeting. Should I let the iPhone come in?
Let him in.
Let's try it.
You
Maybe
get
that's
that
just-
squeaky chair, Mahogany.
You got the squeaky chair.
That's you.
I don't want to switch chairs. That other chair sucks hard.
Sorry.
Are you in, Nick?
I'm here.
Hey.
Oh, that's even better.
Ooh. Okay.
No, we were just talking about your wings and your steak on that competition. What'd you do for the wings?
Okay. I did orange chicken wings. The idea just kind of hit me, and I just kept thinking about it, and it checked all the boxes I was looking for my contest. Because the judges, like, from certain things like offend the judges, and the easiest things to offend the judges' palates are like smoke, salt, and being too hot, like heat, like spicy hot. And I want to avoid most of those things. And sweet stuff usually plays kind of well. And orange chicken kind of hit all those boxes for me. And it turned out well, man. But I just I studied around and was just looking, like, just ripping the internet apart, looking for just grilled chicken wing recipes. And there's a few places that I actually trust and get my recipes from. One's American Test Kitchen, and then usually are just like kind of high-end little chefy books or whatever I've just got laying around the house. And they've got a grilled wing recipe, and I just pulled a little bit from there. And I really like the bread and stuff that they were using and how they did their grilling. And I did a test cook with it, and then just tossed it in some really decent orange chicken wing sauce I found, and that was it, man. And those wings, they slap. I mean, they do. They're good.
You said that one of the things that offends the judges is the smoke,
Yeah, definitely.
but they
Because
want them grilled.
They want them grilled, yes, but they can't be too smoky. Like smoke, you can definitely over smoke stuff.
Oh,
Because I mean, there's been like wings and barbecue that I've made and eat that just like all you can taste is the smoke. You can't taste any meat. You can't taste anything. So that's one of the fine things. And I mean, smoke can be differentiated between like a stick burner smoke is going to taste different than a pellet or like a wood burner smoke. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then airflow also counts too, because pellet smoke is a milder smoke than like natural wood burning fire. It's a lot mellower. It's not as intense as and I mean, people actually try to up the smoke flavor in pellet cookers by adding charcoal pellets to it, because they make little charcoal pellets for wood smokers or pellet cookers now. So I mean, it really is kind of a delicate balance. You can go to some of the stuff, like I've judged a couple of things and ate and eaten a couple of things where it's just like, good God, I mean, the smoke just knocked you down. You can't taste anything.
Right. Yeah, I don't like it when it's overly smoky either, but it's just weird when you said like the first thing was like they don't want the smoke. It's like, well, then why you figured they'd want an essence of it at least? But I guess what you meant was they want like that balanced smoke. They don't want it to be like, ooh, this tastes like oak.
Or liquid
exactly. This tastes like a brush fire.
Liquid smoke is the worst flavor.
I hate liquid smoke.
And if you ever go to Crackle Barrel, that's all their gravy tastes like is liquid smoke. It's fucking terrible.
It's like that and artificial bacon flavored anything. I'll just keep it. I don't want it.
I tried bacon vodka once. Terrible.
Bacon vodka.
Yeah.
But why though?
I'm gonna show you a picture. This is Nick's steak that he won first place on.
Pretty.
Yeah, I'm surprised I honestly did as well as I did with that steak. Because see, where I'm at now is I'm kind of looking at the points and trying to track stuff and just see where I'm not hitting as good on certain areas. Because with the steak stuff, they judge you on taste, texture, appearance, and overall impression. I think there might be one more in there that I'm missing, but it's 4 or 5 different things that they judge you on, and you can get up to the highest score is a 9 in each category. And right now, the things I'm really concentrating on, I've had low taste scores in my last ones. It's not in the highs as high as it could be or getting close to the top, and that's hurt me a little bit, because at Wise I finished 6th out of I think it was 27 or 28 cooks. And I mean, these guys that are cooking too, like they're pretty much, most of them are pros. Like you'll have 3 or 4 sprinkled new guys who came in, but the majority of them are pros. So you really have to be on your game. Like a lot of these guys do, 20, 30 competitions a year. Me, I'm kind of like an outlier just because if I can do 10 a year, I'm doing good at that, because, entry fees and everything, it's expensive. It's a hobby for me, but there's a lot of older couples that do. It's mostly older couples too that do it, that are kind of retired and just travel around, and that's their thing.
I was gonna ask Nick, or actually Nick, before you hop back on, I was talking to Toker and I was asking him, like, with the way you do your wings, if you just had the resources to do the wings the wings the right way, how would you do them?
Like the right way? Like what do you mean the right way?
If you wanted to do it like you had all the time you needed to make the wings.
There's also a difference between like cooking for a competition and cooking what you think tastes the best. Because I've been to like a bunch of pulled pork competitions, and most of the people that win, they don't have pork that I like, but it won because it's what the judges were like wanting,
Well, like I've thought a lot about that, like what you're just saying about what you like versus what the judges like, and there's a big gap between that, because for me, when I first started doing this, like I've got buddies who've tried to help me before and try to do their own thing, and it's kind of like you're in a competition, you're trying to hit certain notes to their specific, what they're wanting for their requirements. So you kind of have to take what you like and throw it out the window. There is space for that, but it's down the road. It's not in the beginning. Like, you need to learn kind of like the rules of the game. You know what I mean? Kind of like, you can't go in there and expect it to be like, well, I'm just going to change this whole game and burn the building down. You've got to go in there saying that I'm trying to hit every note that they want to their specifications. I'm trying to create something specific, you know, to as perfect as I can with the tools that I have, you know. And that's what I think where a lot of people mess up is they think what they think is good usually isn't as good as what they think, man. Because I've ate some of the pork from like some of the top guys that like are consistent champions and competing at the Royal, and I mean, dude, it don't even taste like barbecue. It really don't. Like, I mean, it's good and it is barbecue, but it's like, what the hell is this? It's like, it's delicious. And I mean, it's incredible. It tastes incredible. It's like, oh my gosh. But like, if I'm just going out to eat ribs at somewhere like Applebee's or something, it don't taste anything like the mainstream product barbecue that's out there. I don't know how to really phrase that, but I mean, that's kind of the idea that mess a lot of people up. Is that and see, that's what it is. It's kind of like almost like you think of a gymnast or something. They're all trying to do the same thing and do it as perfectly as they can with accordance with those rules. You know, it's because you're operating within a framework. Now, you learn a lot by operating within that framework, but I mean, it's not going to taste like what you think tastes good. And that's the same rule for the judges. The judges are trained to look for certain things, you know, certain flavor profiles, certain textures and things like that. So, I mean, I mean, there's room for what you like in there and how you want to represent what you're trying to do, but you have to play by the rules of the game, I guess. And you have to balance that, you know? And I think that's a big thing and a big act. Now, some things it's kind of like that balance, how you balance it is where what you like comes into play, I guess, is what I have to say. That's where you can really get into your creative and start stretching those boundaries and doing things a little different. Because I like Mikey was talking, like, he's like, well, what did you do? How did you get, you know, so good so quick or whatever? And well, I was telling him, I said, the only thing like I haven't done so far is because I started doing this 3 years ago and I've always done middle of the pack. Like, my highest finish was 15th out of like 30, I think, so far before these 2 recent wins. And I became a judge because I wanted to understand the process better. So I'm a certified steak judge. I've judged 1 contest, and there is a lot of differences in steaks, man. Like, you don't think, I mean, eating 30 bites of ribeye, yeah, that's a lot of ribeye. But
oh, you poor bastard.
I know. Well, dude, like, the meat sweats is a real thing. Like, I felt like a damn chunk of ribeye was going to pop out my forearm or something, dude. Like, I was like, I don't want meat for a year. Like, just, I need a salad right now. But
like what I found when I went up and did one, it's like the way I made my steak, the way I wanted it was like simple, like salt and pepper and a nice like butter to put on it. That's not what they wanted. They wanted like how your dad kind of makes the steak, where he puts it in a bag and marinates it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Toker knows what I'm talking about.
That's not how my dad makes the steak. No, but
did you ever meet your father?
Yeah, I know my dad. I think I do. I might be adopted. I'm not sure.
Shit.
My dad is an all-purpose Greek seasoned brown sugar and Dale's Worcestershire or Dale's steak seasoning on a steak. That's how I grew up eating it. That's how I like it. You know, it's overly seasoned and it's mid-rare and it's delicious and all the fat's still on it. That's how I want my steak. But that's not a steak winning.
Well, no,
any competitions probably. You know,
no, mid-rare is where it has to be. Mid-rare is where it needs. They want it cooked to a perfect medium, and for me, a perfect medium is between 135 and 138, depending on how fast your steak's cooking, the temperature it's moving at, and carry over. You don't want it to really go past 138. And well, like I was saying, just but the only step I hadn't really done was go to a cooking class, and like so I went. And this is after Wise with Michael and stuff, and we went to Galax, and Galax is kind of my hometown, man, and I really wanted to hit up there, man. Like, I really wanted to do well, and I didn't do for a shit. I did like middle of the pack again, just kind of average Joe. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm sick of this shit. I said, I'm going to take one of those cooking classes. I know $150 is a lot of money to spend on a cooking class, especially an online one. And I said, but I've got this DB. I started using Will Collier's DB 180, Dead Bird 180 seasonings, which he makes really good barbecue seasoning. He's out of the Midwest.
That's a terribly unappetizing name. Look at my Dead Bird seasoning.
Well, see, you don't understand. You don't understand the name of it. The DB 180 stands. Yeah, I know, but the Dead Bird 180 stands for 180 is a perfect score, and it stands for 180 in chicken is what it really means.
I knew it.
And it's So that and
it.
and see that's barbecue stuff like that in KCBS. A 180 is a perfect score in chicken. So that's why it's the whole 180 deal. But his seasonings, man, they're the bomb diggity. Like, I mean, they're legit. At least his steak ones are. I haven't really gone through the whole gambit, and see, he's got a class through Barbecue Champs Academy, which is just this online cooking school that you can take, and it's basically just a bunch of pre-recorded, like almost YouTube type videos, and it breaks down. It's supposed to be tell-all classes where they tell you the whole recipe. Well, his are pretty much close to tell-all. Like they didn't. I'm not going to say it's like, oh, I saw the light or anything like that. It pretty much just, nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy like that, but it did answer a lot of questions for me that I had about small little parts of my process for cooking a steak. And everything just started clicking for me with those processes, because it doesn't really matter what you cook your steak on, what type of grill, because the main types of grills that are out there are PKs, which are portable kitchen. I don't know if any of you's ever heard of those, but those are like the big names.
Once you explained it to me.
Yeah. And but yeah, it's just a portable kitchen, and that's the big popular grill that's out there right now for SCA. And then you have like Hasty Bakes, and then you have like M Grills, and there's a couple other ones that are popping up here and there, 270s and different ones. Well, I use a Oklahoma Joe Rambler, which is kind of like an offset grill. It's starting to gain some popularity now because it's got a real cheap price point. It's fairly portable, and it's the perfect size to cook some steaks and some wings and a couple small things on it. So, because I'm trying to minimize my setup to where I can just throw about 3 or 4 things in the back of my van or my Jeep or whatever and take off and go. And that's about where I've got it now, where I can throw a cooler in there, a tent, grill, and a couple other things, and I'm gone. But
you have to bring your own grill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to bring your own grill.
I mean, I just feel like a grill's a pretty big thing to be.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about, portability. Like, no, there's actually the biggest thing the host. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's like whole lines of portable grills for these competitions where it's like it's a 1x1 box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm partial to those Chimkin grills. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Well, I know Nick listens to every episode, so I don't have to explain to him how I bought a grill my first time recently.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm dated on the episodes, so I haven't caught up on the last couple of views, so you have to excuse me for that. But so
unacceptable.
I know.
Well, Nick, actually, sorry, go ahead, Toker.
Yeah, you guys work together. He brought up last time, since you're not caught up. When is it considered shitting yourself?
Yeah, we have to ask you this. So
when is it? Yeah, go ahead.
When nature calls. So
yeah, I thought he was hesitant to ask you the question, but I think his audio just cut out.
For some reason, my audio is starting to cut out. So if I just disappear, just put in something I won't hear until editing. No. When is it considered shitting yourself? Like when it leaves the butthole or leaves the inner cheek? Oh, Mahogany wasn't here for this.
She's not happy about this conversation.
Whew. Well,
that's the correct
I feel like
response.
I've got a little insight into this because I recently installed a Tushy bidet into my personal toilet at home. So,
fellow bidater, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Bidet is the way.
Yes.
Bidet is the way.
Everybody. Yeah. Well, to answer your question, Mike, I think if any excrement leaves the Tushy, like you're in shit your pants land right there.
So as soon as it leaves inner.
Yeah, as soon as it leaves that, I hate to use this word sphincter, but yeah,
Mhm.
you're kind of in shit your pants land at that point, so you're kind of in trouble. So
Now tell us about this bidet. The steak conversation's phenomenal. You obviously know a lot about food, but let's see how much you know about bidets.
okay, well, I kept seeing ads for the Tushy bidet, and I bought one for my father-in-law because he screams about his hemorrhoids quite a bit. And I heard that they're better for hemorrhoids. They help hemorrhoids. And my father-in-law,
Spray
they're
him back
doing
in
big,
there.
A
yeah, like
little, yeah.
yeah, like it's supposed to like help with like cleaning and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I'm gonna buy him one just to get it. And if he don't want it, I'm gonna take it. So after like 6 months, Christmas, and he said, I'm never gonna put that in my house. And so we said, okay, we're gonna take it if you don't want it. And so I brought it over here and installed it, and we've been using it the past week. And my wife said, I don't ever want to go back to toilet paper. Like she
Not
said, like,
ever.
yeah, like I mean, you need a little dab down there, but I mean, it's not bad. Like, and then I tried to get my kids to use it, and my son Grayson, he just looked at me, and we were all kind of just testing it out or whatever, and
Just the whole
and
family gather around the toilet bowl, taking turns.
I knew that was where it was going to go. I knew that's where it was going to go. But no, we had towels over his lap, and we were like, okay, do you want to try it out? Because they saw the water shooting out of the commode, and we said, do you want to try it? That you can sit on the commode. We put a little towel over his lap so nobody's exposed. And I said, okay, I'm going to turn this water on because they don't know how to turn. They're 6, so they don't know how to turn the knobs, right? So I turned it on a little bit, and it sprayed him. And he said, "What the flip, Dad?" And just immediately jumped off that bidet. So we just told him it's not a toy, not to play with it, But yeah,
It's not a
bidet is
water
the way.
fountain.
Yeah, it's not a water fountain. Don't drink
Can't
out
drink
of it.
out of it?
Yeah, yeah. You could try, I guess. Yeah,
I mean, technically you
Dysentery is a
can.
thing.
yeah.
That's all I got to say about that. Dysentery is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
But,
do
I mean,
it.
yeah, I mean, I'm actually really happy with it. Like I didn't think I'd be comfortable with it, but it's not as bad. I mean, it's actually, and boy, you talk about cooling down like your internal body temperature. Boy, if you
Mhm.
hot, been working out in that yard, and I mean that
Mhm.
little splash to the tush, man. I mean, you cool you right down.
Sometimes I use it even when I don't poop.
Yeah, really.
I just go in there and cool off.
Need a little pick me up.
Little
something.
security spray.
Just
Now,
like it feels.
I was gonna say the real trick is you got to hook the water line up to coffee.
You getting in enema land right there. I don't know if I can handle all that.
Yeah, that's too much.
I'm saying you hook the line up to coffee. That way you get a coffee enema every morning. Start your day off
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I just blast you out, man. Shoot.
No one's down. No one's down for
God.
the enema. Coffee.
Well, man, my wife, she had to do an enema on a guy the other day. My wife's a nurse, man, and like some of it sprayed on her shirt. And she's like, I'm never fucking doing another one of these. Well, no, it didn't spray on her shirt. I think it sprayed on her shoes, like the front of her shoes. Yeah, that's what it was. And she's
That's
like,
worse.
yeah, I know. Like, shoot. Yeah, man, it gets
Oh.
a little funky working in them hospitals sometimes, man. But
Where are my notes? I need my shit to stop.
Oh, you
No more
done?
poop.
No, I'm trying to stop my fucking audio from doing this every 5 seconds. I missed
Oh.
most of the conversations, but I have to listen to it again anyway, so it doesn't
So
matter.
you weren't paying attention, and then you just jumped in and said coffee enema, and luckily we were talking about bidets.
No, I heard that part. That's what I was
Okay.
trying to.
Okay.
No, but in my notes here, I wanted to bring up shitty roommates because I've
Okay.
talked about my roommate that kidnapped his girlfriend, but I don't think we ever talked about my other roommate who would piss in bottles. So back working in a restaurant was a guy, I don't know, he's in his 50s probably, older.
Motherfucker. Lost his audio again.
I'll have to restart my damn computer, but I can't do that. So I'm just gonna try to hopefully get all this in together. But anyway, he's working with me in the restaurant. He's a server, and I'm looking for someone to fill in a room in because the way my aunt charges rent back then is the more roommates I have,
The more roommates you have,
yep, my back. Oh, I hate
Mhm.
this so much.
You back?
You're gonna have to name this one "Delicious Food and Technical Difficulties."
There it is. But we might actually have to cut this one short just because all this dumb shit happening. That's fine. We got a lot of good content in this one, even though we had to cut out. Back to the story. When he came in to move with me, he really didn't bring a lot of shit. In fact, he was planning on sleeping on the floor. Until I was like, look, dude, I have a spare bed in this other room. You can just take it because, pretty sure being 50 years old and sleeping on your bed isn't a good thing. And he paid his rent on time. I never really had any issues out of him. I never really saw him. It didn't become a problem until he lost his job for delivering food to a table with nobody there.
Oh,
What?
He liked to get hammered at work or before work.
Really?
And after he lost his job, he was surviving off of a settlement after a car wreck to buy a new car. But instead, he decided to just do that and buy booze. And I think it wasn't like the second month I'm not paying rent. Like, dude, you just need to leave. We're sick of having you
Mhm.
around here. You're not like. So he gets all of his stuff out. The room's fucking disgusting by that point. Like the carpet's ruined. It was just dirt. Like he was just a dirty person. And he like for a week would just live out of his car outside the house to stay connected to the Wi-Fi. They're like, dude, we just need you to leave. You can't just sit here on our Wi-Fi across the street.
Change the password.
I don't think I could. I don't know how to change a password on the Wi-Fi at that point. This was like 5 or 6 years ago, I think. But anyway, all I can assume is that he's dead now.
And in conclusion, he died. Next story.
But you said the more roommates you had, the something.
The less money I'd have to pay for my own.
Mm.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because the house was
that
paid
makes
off.
sense.
Mm.
Then I had my other roommate I told you who kidnapped his girlfriend. He was really dope until that
Yeah.
point.
Every time you bring up stories about shitty roommates that you had, all I can remember is that you tried to get me to move in there.
I did, but you would have been a good roommate.
I would have, but you would have been surrounding me with piss bottles and that's really the cream of the crop for me is pee bottle guy. I don't want to live with that dude.
Well, he was gone by then. He also broke the lid to my cast iron pot, which was glass. So the cat, and he sliced his foot open.
Well, you had a glass top for a cast iron pot?
It fit. It wasn't like the one that was made for it, but it fit.
Oh, well, that's okay. Well,
Yeah,
That's what I fried my chicken in.
Yeah.
But I want you to try something next time you do steak tests. Just like a couple drops of vanilla. I was talking to my friend who does pastry, and he says he puts vanilla in pretty much everything he does because it's supposed to like open up flavors or whatnot. Kind of like how salt does. Apparently,
Interesting.
lemon juice and vanilla are really good at doing that.
That's what another thing I need to talk to you about, Michael, is man, I need a soup recipe. Like I've been scouring internet for my next ancillary is a soup ancillary, and that's a wide open range. Like chicken wings are kind of easy because it's the protein. You just have to have a good sauce and a really good presentation. And you can because I mean a chicken wing is a chicken wing. It's not going to change. But soup, man, I mean I've been racking my brain going through like what's a soup and then what's a traditional soup, and then you've got like all these freaking gumbos and jambalaya and all this other stuff, and it's like
those aren't soup to me.
Well, see that's where I struggle because I think some people would submit that, and it's kind of like what would stand out, and that's
like
part of the whole thing.
Chicken and dumplings, that's a stew, right?
Yeah,
some people say it's a soup.
Look at
Well, no, it's a stew. Like I don't think chicken and dumplings is a soup unless you make it wrong. You can make chicken and dumpling soup.
Yeah.
But
I worked at Ladles for about a year.
You're also banned from that Ladles.
I'm also banned from Ladles, but that's
that's the MSG salad dressing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
accent.
Yeah.
The definition of a stew is a dish of meat and vegetables cooked slowly in a liquid in a closed dish or pan. Now let's see the definition of soup. I need to know that myself. A liquid dish typically made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables, etc., in stock or water. A bowl of tomato soup. Look, you can go with she crab. I guarantee nobody up in the mountains is doing that.
Well, the three recipes that I like right now that I've actually got my eyes on that I'm going to do a little bit more digging on is the Olive Garden Zeppoli soup, like a homemade version of that.
Oh, the Italian wedding soup.
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
Mhm.
I got my eye on that one. I'm digging through some like real Italian cookbooks right now and kind of see what's what. The second one is I saw some weird random YouTube video about this Norwegian chef who did king snow crab and a almost burnt cream together.
Mm.
And it was kind of like just high end stuff, and it had like a cream and just some fresh cracked, king crab. But those are really expensive ingredients. So I try to steer away from stuff that's like super ridiculously expensive. And then the third one is I'm a big fan of like Sean Brock, and he's got a corn soup that I saw, and I was going to try to make some of his stocks out of his cookbooks. And
Yeah, there's a video of him making that online on YouTube right now.
I looked at that, but there was no like definition in recipe or anything like that. All it is just like a clip video. It's like a 30-second hype reel from 2018 that a website that never launched or something. I don't know. Like it's weird.
I felt like I watched him make it, but maybe it wasn't as detailed as I remember it.
You could go
it's
into
real short.
let's say you can go into like a gazpacho area and do a chilled soup.
Well, it's going to be in November, so I've thought about that. And the other thing I was thinking about is like, what kind of containers can I serve the soup in? Because like my orange chicken, I did some real simple like vegetable slicing. Like, I don't know if you got the picture that you can show them, but
We already
We
did.
saw it, yeah.
yeah.
Looked
But
great.
I mean, I just did some real simple, like, some tangerines. I just, did that little, I don't even know what kind of cut you call it, but you just make it and then makes the little tube like the wedge shape, and did that. And presentation plays a big part of that, because if you can get them to really like look at it and be like, oh shit, that's going to be good. Like you got that, when you got that feeling about it. And, but soup's a tough one, man. Like it's really taxing my creativity.
I did a Mandarin chicken noodle soup when I worked at Ladles. It was really good. And I used I went to the Asian market and got their canned Mandarin juice, and I bought it specifically because it made me laugh. It said with sack. That means with pulp. And I bought a bunch of cans of that. It was delicious. And I was like, I'm going to turn this into a soup. And I did. So it was a Mandarin chicken noodle soup with sack in it.
Sack soup.
Sack soup. But you can stick with the orange theme. And
yeah, well, hey, like I said, sweet plays good, man. Like sweet does stick out.
Do a nice strawberry bisque.
Do you nice grilled chicken chunks in there, make you a nice stock, and sweeten it up with that mandarin juice and put whatever else you want into it and thicken it. It's pretty, it's simple. Most soups. The thing about soups is that you can put a lot into them and make them really difficult, or you can keep them really simple as long as it's seasoned well.
Yeah. Well, and that's the key. That's the key is the seasoning. It really is, man. Like he was talking about, Michael was talking about with the whole vanilla on the steak, because I was just thinking about that today. Was on my compound on my butter that I finished with is just some rub and some unsalted butter, and I just barely glaze the steak with it, and I honestly just glaze the bottom half where they take the bite from, so the top stays kind of pretty. I don't put any over the top or anything, because the steak judges, they only eat the front half of the steak. They don't even eat the back half. They just cut it in the middle and look at it for presentation, and then they take their bites from the top where the spinalis is at. But I was thinking about that of maybe mixing in a little bit of sugar or vanilla or something in there to kind of like pop it, because that's where I've been struggling a little bit with my taste. And it's the reason, and I know this is nitpicky or probably sounds a little too in depth, but the reason I've been doing that is because I was listening to one of the cooks out there when I won at All Good. My score at All Good was 250, and I think it beat everyone else by like a point or two. God knows how. I don't know how I did it. It was just dumb luck, and things worked out for me. I picked a good steak. I must have cooked it really well and seasoned it very properly, and taste was my lowest score out there. But one of the cooks was talking, one of the more experienced ones that's been around and did some of the bigger competitions. He said out at Worlds in March, and that's where I won my golden ticket and I'll go cook at, you have to cook a 250 or higher point stake to even be in the top 10, because I was talking to my buddy Jamie, and there's going to be at least 200 to 300 competitors out there at Worlds. And to be at the Worlds, you have to have won at least one state contest. And most of these people have won multiple state contests with multiple tickets and finished top 10 finishes every year. So it's literally like the best of the best. And the way they break it down is they put it in groups of 50, and then the top 10 out of those 4 or 5 groups of 50 go on to the next round. And I mean, but it is a legitimate shot at $10,000 if you've got the chops and kind of know what to do.
Oh shit! I was wondering what the prize was.
Toker,
Yeah,
start the homebrew to try to stake cooking team.
I mean, it's a legit shot at 10 grand if you've got the chops and you can cook it. And I mean, there's a contest.
I mean, if you're spending the kind of money you're spending on, your portable grills and portable kitchens and meats and stuff, it's 10 grand is nice, but you've probably dumped a good bit into this hobby already.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I was telling my wife. If I really wanted to compete and do say 20 contests a year with travel, hotel, gas, everything, entry fees, I'd probably need about an extra $10,000 to maybe $12,000 a year income to support that. And I mean, and that's walking away with nothing, no wins, no top 10s, no nothing.
Right.
But and believe me, it's way cheaper than doing professional barbecue, because all right, so to do a state contest, you're looking at $150 entry fee for a single contest. You do an ancillary, it's about $25, so maybe $175 is probably your round number, right? Mm-hmm. Well, top payout prize is $1,000, which is good. But you've got gas and stuff like that. Most contests are usually 2 to 3 hours away, so you're probably looking at a tank of gas. They give you the meats. They do provide the meats in there, so you don't have to buy the ribeyes. So that's a good part. So you're probably talking, maybe load up fuel, time, food, gas, and if it's 4 or 5 hours away, you're talking maybe another $100 for motel. So you can easily get away with $300 per comp or less, and if it's close, you're just talking maybe $100, $200 per comp. So that's cheap. That, believe it or not, that's really cheap. And because when I did the KCBS contest, it was $1,500 to $2,000 to do like a local competition in my backyard, and that's to walk away with nothing. Because they don't provide you any meats. You have to compete in all 4 categories, which is ribs, chicken, brisket, pulled pork. So you have to buy all those meats. So you have to buy Boston butts. You have to buy whatever type of ribs you want to cook, which is usually spares. Brisket. You have to usually, you have to buy the Wagyu briskets, like, an A6 brisket, which you're talking, that's $500. So you're talking about probably at least $1,000 in meats. And then if you're local and not traveling or anything, so you can X out the motel and stuff, but you're talking, and plus barbecue competitions take 2 days, so you're talking you have to be there Friday and Saturday. Most state contests, you're there 1 day and you're out. Like, you can cook on Friday or be gone, or like this recent one up here at Big Stone Gap, you cook on Saturday. I was there I think I got up at 5 a.m. I loaded my truck or Jeep the night before. I got there by 9 o'clock in the morning, set up my tent, which took like 20 minutes, set up my grill and stuff, and didn't take no time. And then, I was already loaded up, sitting there waiting around for awards at 5 o'clock, and that went until 6. So, I mean, it's state contest compared to like a KCBS or an MBN contest dramatically. I mean, it's much easier. It's unreal how much easier it is. So, but
yeah, when I went with him, the people doing the barbecue competitions, they had those fucking RVs, like the $200,000 RVs, just chilling with the grills on the back of them. Yeah, it's like a rich man's game. Fuck,
yeah, it is.
Dude, fuck doing the barbecue.
Well, now I do want to get back into doing the barbecue, but I want to do the backyard barbecue, which the prizes aren't as big, but it's not as much stress because you can cook maybe 1-2 meats. Like, you can just cook the pulled pork or the brisket or something like that. And I mean, there are certain brands of meat companies that these barbecue guys use. Like, a lot of the guys use Compar pork. A lot of guys are getting those A6 briskets from the meat shoppy in Florida right now. That's where they're getting all their briskets from. And but the thing with the backyard competitions, like around here, the backyard guys are so damn good that they're damn near pros. Like, I don't see how they're still cooking in the backyard. I mean, they really are. Like, I mean, it's legit. Like, this year at Galax, my buddy wanted me to enter in the backyard. He's like, yeah, you can cook in the backyard, man. I was like, Jesus. And he told me some of the guys who were doing it, and I said, I don't want to lose my damn money. man. Like if I enter this, I'm going to lose my money. I don't want, I'll do the steaks and stuff, but I mean, I'm not because there's a guy from Christiansburg. It's Bowman's Butts and Barbecue, and I don't know how this guy stayed off my radar for so long, but he is the freaking 2020 points or backyard champion in KCBS, and I mean, that's the national champion. Like, dude, this dude knows what's up. Like, he knows how to cook and he knows how to do it, and he does it on this big old gallon smoker. Like, it's crazy, man. Like that dude from Bowman's. I've met him a couple times. He's a super nice guy. He freaking won a steak contest on one of those little tiny hibachi freaking charcoal grills. The damn thing was lime green. Like golden ticket won it. And I was like, it's crazy. Like, you really can cook on anything, but you just have to know how. You legitimately got to know what's up and how to cook. Like, it's crazy. Like, there's a lot of taste, and everybody uses something different. Some of these guys use the same thing and do a couple of the same tricks, but I mean, some of them really do use different things, man. And like I was saying, that whole backyard stuff, dude. Like, any Joe Smo who's just off the street, like, they really probably wouldn't stand a chance. I mean, I hate to say that, and hope I don't like ruin people or give them a bad idea of things, but they really wouldn't. Like, unless you come in and like you've been watching KCBS videos and how these pro guys do their stuff, or maybe took a cooking class, like you probably wouldn't stand a chance. I mean, it's just unreal.
Well, I've also think I figured out your soup problem.
Oh, really?
French onion soup.
It's the best
I
soup.
thought about that one. That was one of kind of
that is very good soup. And it's very like everybody. I feel like it's across the board, unless you just hate onions. It's a really good soup.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine a judge being somewhere that hates onions and they're supposed to judge food. Yeah. But you never know.
Yeah.
And you can make everything at the house, right? Like, you make everything, but you have to assemble it there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, ancillaries, you have to make everything. You can make stuff off site and then assemble it there. But dude, my brain has been like on just crazy mode today, thinking about different crap for soup. I mean, it's unreal. Like, I was looking at 3D printed bowls. I was looking at carving pumpkins and frying them to make bowls with. Like, I was thinking about, and then I know this is stupid and ridiculous.
Deep fried pumpkin bowl. Boy,
yeah,
there's some
I know.
white women on Instagram right now losing their shit.
Oh, hold on. Toker, you're on
like
to
the mini tiny pumpkins.
If you make pumpkin soup, but you make you get a small pumpkin and you haul it out and then you deep fry that bastard, you got something there.
I can
and you
see that
with the soup.
I like gourd soups.
Yeah.
Soups made of gourds. I want more mulligatawny in my life, though.
Like
butternut squash.
More mulligatawny in my life.
More what?
It's an Indian soup.
I don't know what that is.
It's got a lot of ingredients in it, and it's generally like made the day before. That's why I didn't suggest it for your thing. Mulligatawny, MULLIGATAWNAY, I believe, or NEY, one of those.
Pretty close.
It's so good.
It looks dope already. It looks like chicken noodle soup.
It's very delicious.
But like,
what is it? Lentil, like a lentil flavored.
Lentil and something sweet like apple or pear, and like a bunch of different spices, and you can do it with or without meat. I prefer apple. I don't like the texture of pear, but if you're blending it anyway, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Are you planning on doing like a blended soup? Do you want it chunky?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, the corn soup was going to be like so for the corn soup, I've been thinking about the presentation a lot. I haven't gotten any good ideas how to make that really work, because I was going to do like the Sean Brock corn soup and then do like the little spice drizzles on top with some paprika and different things, and then do the
corn cob pipe. But the soup goes in there, and when they just bite the tip of the pipe off, and the soup slides into the
well, that's what I was actually thinking about doing, was making like little corn cob pipe shooters.
Yeah.
So you take a fresh piece of corn and you use that as like a mold for some sort of bread that you bake. And then that way you've got the bread that looks like a corn cob.
That's solid.
Do y'all remember those cornbread pans that are in the shape of corns?
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
bake
actually
bread,
pretty
you get a little
solid.
Yeah.
cornbread
See,
bread
that's what.
bowl.
Yeah, and see, that's part of the whole thing with this ancillary things, like the orange chicken. I want to sell the idea that oranges are going to be in this, or that corn's are going to be in this. That
Mhm.
before you even taste it or see it, you can be like, "Oh, okay, this is all about corn." Like
Yeah.
you know, you have to work that in there, and that's what I was thinking is doing the little whole like little corn bowls. That's actually a really good idea with the corn pan.
It's
You
shake and
walk
bake,
out
and I
to-
help.
You walk
There
out
you
there
go.
with the boombox, just jamming corn.
Just, yeah, I'll do that with my
That's-
entry. I'll walk up there with it.
That's your signal to the judges.
But yeah, I mean that's part of it is like how do you get them to eat with their eyes first, you know, and like what are you trying to say
Mhm.
without saying it, I guess type deal.
Oh,
Right.
I watch way too much like cooking shows, and that phrase just irks me. Eat with your eyes. It just
I
rubs
know, but
me away.
It's true though.
I mean, sure.
I
That's
mean, they were saying
that.
that when I was at
And it's
Johnson
like also
Wales.
that one, and like I put myself on a plate. Those two phrases, I could go the
I don't
rest
like
of my
that.
life without hearing them ever again.
well
Put
now
myself on a plate. I don't
Yeah,
like.
it's just like me
Yeah.
on a plate. Ugh.
But there's
dick on
your
a
whole
plate.
your whole experience with food. Most of it happens before it gets in your mouth.
Yeah,
You see it, you smell it
see
way
it,
before
you
you
smell it.
taste
I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
I just like, yeah, it's just the phrases get overused. If you watch a block of cooking shows, you're just
yeah,
done.
yeah. Well,
That's another thing to do too, Nick, is just go watch like a couple episodes of Chopped and see what they do.
well, yeah, I do that sometimes, but honestly, sometimes those cooking shows just get on my nerves a little bit.
I can't.
The people,
I don't know, because I start pulling for certain people and then I get disappointed if they lose. It's just kind of like blows my mind. But now I will say, like Mahogany, what you were saying about how like put yourself on a plate. Like I was talking to my wife about it, like this steak in Big Stone Gap. Like I said, I was telling her, I said I had a good steak, but I screwed that steak up because I was off my vibe a little bit because my timelines were wrong. And now I do believe that this is true. Like the vibe that you're in, like whatever mental state, like if you're like they call it flow state, but like I think I was flowing up there at all good, and just because I mean that's one of the most relaxed like chill cooks I've ever had. And because at first doing all those competitions, I used to be super wired tight and like just like, oh my god, what do I do? I got to watch every step I'm on, you know. But like I think if you really hit that flow state and like you're just like chill and kind of going with it and it's flowing and everything's just working, like you know it's going to hit. Like with those chicken wings, I knew those chicken wings was going to hit. Like I knew it. And that's one thing they do ask you, like the other chefs are like, how do you feel about it? And if you can honestly look at them and go like, I feel good about it, like this shit's probably going to hit. Like you can really tell, like you can look at it and be like, you know it's going to hit, because those chicken wings, man, they really did. Like they slapped. Like I ate them and I was like, these fuckers are good. And I'll tell you the secret, like the big secret or whatever to the crunch. Like all I did is I brined them for an hour, sugar, salt, water, 2 quarts of water, brine, you know, maybe a dozen or 16 chicken wings for an hour or two, and then just bread them in all season, all purpose, like seasoned flour, and then just fry them or cook them on the grill for like maybe 20 minutes at 450, 500-ish, almost steak cooking temps. You can kind of tell when they're ready because the fat from the chicken starts to render out and it cooks that bread and the bread turns brown. And when that bread turns brown, not burnt, but brown, they're ready. Like you don't even have to temp them. You can temp them, but they'll be at 180, 200-ish. And with that brine in them, they don't dry out. So they stay at that 180. But
you flour your wings when you grill them too?
Yeah, man.
That's
that flour.
on me.
Well, yeah. You throw that AP flour on there, man. And you throw that AP flour, you just throw that AP flour, dude, they'll taste like they came out of a fryer. No shit. Because that fat from that chicken renders out and it fries that flour. You would think it came out of a fryer. You wouldn't know the difference if I didn't tell you. And you toss them, and then that kind of that breading holds on to that sauce really good. And then you got that little bit of crunch, man. And just that from that orange and from the orange seasoning and stuff, and then the sesame seeds and all that stuff's mostly decorations. But you got that crunch, man, and that shit tastes like orange chicken, and it's crunchy like it's fried, like from orange chicken, like it just came from like Panda Express or something. Dude, that joint, it smacks, man. It's really good. Like I'm surprised I stumbled on it. I really am.
I was sold on your recipe as soon as you said brine. A lot of people don't know how to brine food. And, It helps,
Chicken
especially
for
with
sure.
chicken wings.
I've found
God,
that like Jamaicans call it washing your chicken, but it's the same thing. You just make sure you brine it in something.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yeah, but like I feels it makes me crazy when people misinterpret that term, wash your chicken, and they think that you have to put soap and water on it. I'm like, please God, don't do
Well, not
that.
soap.
Don't do that.
You do need
Yeah.
like
No.
people don't realize wash your meat for a couple of reasons, but the main one.
It's yep.
Yep.
Y'all see those TikTok videos where they like soak the fruit and the shit just floats out of that fruit, like
Yeah.
or whatever, like lettuce and stuff and worms and bugs.
I saw the one with the strawberries and I was like, that's gotta be fake.
I've eaten so much stuff that's unwashed. It's like, oh my God.
Why do you wash your chicken, noob?
When they're bandsawing it, that's it. That goes from bandsaw to packaging. They're not rinsing those little bone flakes away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's calcium.
Now I will tell you this: with like doing the competitions chicken, everybody brines their chicken pretty much, from as far as I know. But something that like a lot of people know is a lot of the cooks will scrape the skin on the chicken thighs. You take the skin off the thighs and you scrape that fat off the back, so it makes it like paper thin. But the thing is that chicken might not have the same skin that it originally came on, because you swap those skins out, which I've just always thought it's not gross or weird. Everything's cooked, it's all clean, everybody's wearing gloves as far as I know. But yeah, that chicken might be wearing the skin of another chicken.
Oh,
it's a strange thought process.
That made me think of Buffalo Bill, but chicken.
Listen, don't underestimate caul fat. That stuff, it works wonders.
He puts the lotion on the skin.
So it gets the deep fryer again.
Yeah.
I just think about Joe Dirt when he's down there. I need my auto trader.
Oh, good times.
But chicken fat is so delicious. Why are they getting rid of it?
Well, okay. The reason they get rid of it is where they usually smoke it is at like 225, 250. That skin won't crisp up. So
okay.
And for the judges, you want a bite that perfectly pulls away, but it has to stay just a little bit. Like that's the whole thing with the KCBS judges is they don't want ribs that fall off the bone. Like ribs that fall off the bone are way overcooked, and they want to have a bite with a little bit of texture, and it pulls when you eat it. And that's like with the steak cutting. So
see, that's how I like my ribs. I like my ribs not fall off the bone. I like
I like them fall off the bone. I like my chicken skin to be crispy. I want that shit cooked. That's how I like it.
It's cooked. They temp everything like you. Now the only thing with like barbecue, like real smoked barbecue chicken, like from competition style, is around the bones get red from the meat, and that's just the smoke ring.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who are new to it mistake that.
Yeah.
But
I worked at a place that did smoked chicken wings, and I had to explain that regularly to people that it's not blood, it's the
not
smoke.
Undercooked.
But like for me, my thing is like I'm a grocery store carnivore, and I just don't like thinking about the
Buffalo Bill chicken.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that it used to be alive. So that's
you don't want to think how it got there.
Yeah.
Well, I get that. I'm honestly considered like even going on a vegetarian diet at times, and even though I do all this meat cooking stuff, like it's not like a staple. Like I don't sit here and eat barbecue 24 hours a day, or like we rarely have barbecue here at my home, and even though I'm cooking it for other people all the time, it's just kind of like
you were a real competitor.
Well, it's just you get burned out on it, man.
Yeah,
it's like I guess like you said, you worked at the radio station. You probably got tired of listening to the radio sometimes, I'd imagine.
I stopped listening to the radio station about 3 years before I got fired from the radio station.
Really?
Yeah. It's because you can tell, like, oh, that's 2 songs. I know they're gonna play a commercial. The guys are gonna talk. It's just you know the routine to the point where it's like it's not even fun to listen to.
Yeah.
I cooked tacos for 15 years at a place. It was a long time before I would eat, tacos outside of that, unless it was like, super specific. But yeah, I mean, it's just
taco night. Sorry,
white people taco night.
There you go. I'll tell you one thing. Like I have to like explain to people. It kind of irks me a little bit. Is like when you brought up mahogany, when you're talking about the blood and stuff. Like my father-in-law and my mother-in-law both will not eat a medium rare steak. Oh, he says you don't cook it. You put it on there for 30 seconds, and the son of a bitch is still bleeding and da 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 da. First thing I have to say is, well, where's the blood at in your body? Where's the blood at in your body? It's in your veins. Yes, what comes out of the meat is red, but that is not blood. That's actually myoglobin. It's meat water. It's not blood. It is not blood. I don't know if that makes you feel better or not, maybe help you sleep better at night, but
I'm gonna say, I like my steak. If I'm out, I get it medium rare so that when I get home, because I'm only gonna eat half of it. So when I get home and I reheat it reheats to medium. Or if I'm at home, I prefer it medium. But I did grow up eating well done steaks smothered in A1. And it took a long time for me to get to the point where I would eat a steak that had, any pink or red in it. It made me think about people. Like, it made me think about me being, and that's the big thing is like, I was like, if I can eat that, then I can eat somebody. And that's just, you can. I feel like it's a thin line between it's meat's meat, right? Like, so it took a while.
I think it's like an evolution. I think you are right. Like I grew up the same way, eating well done steaks and everything like that. And for me, the main selling point is like the juiciness. That really is like the main selling point. And plus, when you bite into like a steak that's medium rare, that's like a true medium rare, it doesn't really bleed. It's right at that borderline. Like when I'm very specific about temperature, like 138, like it really doesn't bleed at all.
If you don't if you don't let it rest, that's the problem. It's like people get an unrested steak and then they cut into it and it's just
the juice falls out.
And then they're like, oh, it's bleeding, and that'll turn them off. I understand that.
Turns me on though.
Well, you're a special case.
Wipe my potatoes and something. I need all that steak juice to rub my potatoes and
Listen, you take that steak juice, you take a piece of baguette, and then you grill that baguette with the meat juice. Some of the best bread you'll ever have.
I'll tell you,
that pumpernickel. That little pumpernickel loaf from Outback dipped in meat juice is so good. I'm just saying, it's so good.
For me, like some of the best barbecue I've ever got is like when I'm taking barbecue butts apart and stuff like that. There's a little bit of barbecue like right there below that fat cap, because I cook mine like fat cap down. Once you get down to that layer, there's a thin, tiny layer of like meat there, just tiny. And I'm telling you, you pull that stuff out, it doesn't taste like smoke or anything, but I mean, it's just basically meat that's been like confit in pork fat. Like it's
butter.
It is. It's legit butter. Like I gave that my dad when I first started doing barbecue. My dad didn't even like barbecue. Like he straight up told me to my face, I don't like barbecue. I'm not really gonna eat this.
And I don't love you.
Yeah.
It's a weird interaction all the way around. Like I mean, I gave him some of that, man, and it was like there's certain bites that people just cannot deny that are like good. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when you know them wings hit, like you can't deny that that's good. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for is like when you eat it and it's just like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you just sink, like when you just, oh God, like you got that hit or something, like,
It makes me think of Food Wars and that girl that just doesn't want to say that the guy's food is good, but she takes the bite and all of her clothes pop off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's true.
It's undeniable.
Well, I think we're at the end of our time, Nick.
Okay, yeah. You want me to tell you one more thing about the chicken wings?
What do you say?
One more thing about them chicken wings.
One more thing about
I said I'm ending it.
You're ending it? Now we're done.
No,
you're fine.
Vito,
You're fine.
talk about the wings. Fuck him.
All right, one more thing about the wings. Okay, so the lady who beat me is the national points champion in ancillary.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about this.
Like, so she's like the best of the best. Like, ancillary points are like, I don't know how they're awarded or whatever. I guess when you get it, whatever. She's got like 142, so she's leading the nation. She's out by far outstripping everybody else. Like she's got like 50 or 60 points. So we enter that contest, and I didn't really know she was there. Like I don't know all these big names, who all these people are, but this lady's like pro at these ancillaries. And come to find out, the way our score stacked up, it was like taste 59, a presentation 59, execution 50. All our scores were exactly the same except 2. our taste scores, hers was 50.1. Mine was like 50.6. So I beat her on taste. My presentation score, I got docked 1 point. It was a 49. Hers was a 50. And that's what she beat me by, was that half a point. And she beat me with a peach. It was a peach wing is what she beat me with. Because both our scores in taste like outstripped everybody's. Like we went way past everybody on taste. And that's what I was saying is like, that's how I know they slap. Like you just can't deny it. Like, I mean, there's no way. Like everybody who ate them said they were good. So, and it's that whole feeling, like I felt good about them. And when you feel good about them, it's like, yeah, that shit hits. Yeah. So make you some up. Get the brain trust going on that soup for me. Let me know what's up.
Well, I think we've been sold on the bread bowl shaped like corn.
Yeah, That's because I've been racking my damn brain on how to put some corn together, and but I think that bread idea, that's actually pretty legit. And I think I'm gonna do some of those barbecue corn ribs. Have you seen those on TikTok and stuff like that? Like the grilled corn ribs or whatever. They take a corn cob.
Oh yeah.
So I think I might try to work on some of that and see what I can come up with. We'll see. I'm gonna make a couple different soups and kind of narrow it down, because the night before that contest we did a wing test of the General Tso's or Korean barbecue wings versus the orange chicken. And I'll tell you, the reason you can use the seasoned flour with the orange chicken, that sweet and salty balances out super well, and you won't notice the difference, because I tried using the seasoned flour with Frank's Red Hot, and it was too salty. It was tasting it was like eating salt hot sauce. I mean, it was ridiculously salty. Like you wouldn't have ate it. It wouldn't have worked. But with that orange chicken, man, it balances perfect, dude. It's ridiculous. But that's all I gotta say.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. Life's like a box of chocolates.
Good times.
Yeah.
Where are you at? What you doing?
Well, Nick, where can we find you? You got any Instagram or something you want to point out or shout out for people?
Yeah, I got my Instagram. It's How to Cook Barbecue, and then I think I got a Facebook page, Nick Edwards, and I think that's kind of it. I'm not doing much on social media right now. I'm getting there. I want to get into some blogging and things, but I've got good strengths and weaknesses, and blogs are tough, man. I'm not a great writer. I can do the website stuff. That's easy. But the whole writing thing, man, that's the hard part for me. So if you know any good writers, let me know.
Mahogany?
Yes.
Good writer?
I'm a writer.
Are you?
I like to write mostly fiction. I'm not
I can work with that.
I like to write. I do.
Okay.
I have an upcoming podcast called Try Weekly. That's it's about trying to write something weekly and forcing my friends to write with me. Yes.
Really? That's something I'd be definitely interested in.
In doing an episode?
Yeah, I'll do an episode with you. I don't care.
Hell yeah.
But I'm not a good writer. I'm dyslexic as shit. I'll tell you that. Like I'm a very slow writer. I can write. I just have to, like, it takes me way longer than it would an average person. I don't know how to put that in a different way, but
so the deal with Try Weekly is you have 3 weeks from a time whenever we decide to start. You have 3 weeks.
Okay.
And put something on the page. We're writing short stories. It can be a paragraph, it could be 15 pages, like as long as it's not a novel.
Okay.
Let's go.
Well, see, I mean, the whole only reason I really want to look at doing any extra stuff like this is because I do want to monetize, like I said, the whole 10 grand thing. So, I mean, having money to pay for state contests and stuff is a means for me. And I do believe, either making some videos through YouTube and having like a blog about maybe grilling or griddling or something along those lines would be a good move for me, and trying to monetize that. I mean, I'm pretty good on like the whole web design thing, and I can build websites and stuff, even though I don't have internet. I know that's ridiculous. I know, but
that's funny,
I've got other sources. Yeah. But I mean, I go to the college library a lot, and I use their computers. And I mean, I actually own about probably 10 or 15 domains right now. But I've tried hiring writers before. Like I've hired writers from other countries, like those writing services, all kinds of stuff, and I've never found I can get it to work out with. Because I can give you all the ideas, I can give you everything you need. I just can't write the shit. Like it takes me forever. Like I've got about 3 articles that I've wrote maybe 750 words on, and it's just it's tough for me. It really is. But
yeah, that's what I like. I'm trying to get better at it, so that's what I'm doing this for.
cool.
Trying.
Well, hit me up.
Right on.
Let me know whenever you're gonna do this. I'll jump in.
Okay. We can let's see. I got maybe in like 10 days or so. Get at you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking at these kids' books because my boys give me ideas for kids' books like constantly. Like my son actually gave me an idea today for a kid who gets in so much trouble he grows up in his room.
Really
You know,
like
Oh,
that.
shit,
like,
yeah.
Like he grows up in his room, like
Yeah, because he's just grounded constantly.
Yeah, constantly. Like
idea.
like my kid was like, yeah.
That
My
is
son
pretty
was
cool.
like, yeah. What if Grayson just gets in trouble so much he just grows up in his room and he'll get a beard and he'll just stay there forever? And like he just started, and I was just like, keep talking. Just talk.
Yeah.
Just tell me what you got.
This is gold.
Like, oh, I've got yeah. No, I just bust out my phone and start writing notes. Like, yeah, this is the idea. But yeah, just constantly. I mean, these kids are like, it's crazy how many just little creative ideas I get from them. But
well, unfortunately, we're gonna go ahead and patent that for a noob show, so you can't use that idea. Toker, why don't you go ahead and close the show out because we're running super late on time.
Thanks for listening to Noob Show. He thinks this episode is going to be extra long, but he's forgetting the 15 minutes of technical difficulties that happened at the top. No, you don't. Anywho, if you enjoyed this, please look at the description below. There should be links to all of our other goodies, which is, tabletop RPG playing games like Homebrew Detritus or Forsaken Throne or Raiders of the Lark or more episodes of this show. We got 1,000 downloads on our main show. It took us a year to do it, which isn't great, but I'm still fucking proud of it. And that just means that we're getting better and better, or we're just attracting worse and worse people. And either way, that's just a bigger audience. So thank you so much for listening.
yeah,
Thanks, Nick, for being here. It is Nick, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I should have just kept going. Your wings look delicious, and I might pleasure myself with pictures of them later.
Can we do it together?